Let's go to another issue I picked up today that I thought is worth raising tonight. Teaching graduates from universities across Australia risk missing out on mandatory training on how to teach children to read. It's as basic as that. A report in the Australian newspaper today reveals less than 10% of primary teaching degrees have been updated to adhere to new standards requiring they double the amount of time dedicated to literacy content and incorporate evidence-based practice in early reading instruction. Now, for more on this, I'm joined from Perth by education expert and associate professor at Edith Cowan University, Dr Lorraine Hammond. We talk about the statistics, the league tables when they come out, Dr Hammond, here and overseas and where Australia might rank. We focus on the basics as we should, literacy and numeracy, but we can't expect the children to learn if we don't teach the teachers to teach. Was this a surprising set of statistics to you?
Not at all, Peter. I have the privilege of not only working at university, but also working with many, many graduate teachers. So I have a project in the Kimberley of Western Australia and also one in the ACT. So I get to work with teachers from all over universities who've just graduated. And I'm sorry to say the great majority tell me that they don't feel confident teaching reading.
So what needs to change?
Well, we need a change at the university level. We also need a change amongst the various jurisdictions, the education departments, the different systems, the independent system, the Catholic system. And we need to accept that the arguments are over. We know how to teach reading. We know how to teach it in an evidence-based way. And if we can't train our university students to do that, then they're not going to be effective. And I work with some of the neediest children in Australia, particularly in the Kimberley, and so I need the best teachers in front of those students.
So if we've only got 10% of teachers on the new requirements, that means we've got 90% of teachers not anywhere near those new requirements. How long will it take the universities to catch up to what are the new accreditation standards?
Well, some of them will come for accreditation sooner than others. But I think the challenge that we have, there's a number of challenges. First of all, some students may have actually passed the particular unit in the sense that they've already done it. And so I often meet teachers who might have encountered that unit in second year, but they've just graduated, or changes are being made now, and the current batch of graduates haven't actually been exposed to the evidence-based practice. I think it's really a major issue because there's nothing worse than graduating as a teacher. And if you think about, doctors, lawyers, we would expect them to have, at least fundamental training in beginning reading. Of course, for some of my colleagues in universities, it isn't necessarily something that they have specifically researched or they know well themselves. I started my teaching career working with high school students who couldn't read. And so for me, it was a case of going down the rabbit hole to really find out why they couldn't read and, more importantly, how to teach reading. So my studies, postgraduate studies were in, cognitive neuroscience. I was very interested in what the brain did when it learned how to read. And if you know that research, well, then you understand how to teach reading. But you see, many people who work in universities have themselves been great teachers. They've then gone to university and they might have done a PhD in an area about, say, children's literature or why children love reading or how children select books. And that doesn't necessarily teach you the mechanics of reading instruction. That typically comes from the School of Psychology. It doesn't necessarily come from the School of Education.
It is just so important, Dr Hammond, that you break down the basics. As I said, we get these league tables, we get these disappointing results, so we see we're going backward as a country. And we'll never change these statistics if we don't change the way we teach, because changing the way we teach is changing the way we learn. Thank you for raising this issue with us today in the media. We'll keep talking. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Peter.
Dr Lorraine Hammond, how amazing is she? This is the debate we've got to have. Absolutely got to have.